Welcome back to another episode of The Builder Story. This is a podcast that shares the stories of great African leaders who have built stuff, who have impacted the nations of Africa, who have also, contributed to the great society around them. Today we have one of those great African leaders right here in the house. We're talking about the co-founder of Pertinence Group and the CEO of Rush Tower Limited, Mr. Wisdom Ezekiel, is right here in the house with us. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to, hear your story.
I'm also so excited to be here, and thanks to our guy at the top
right,
for dragging me down here. And
Yes.
This is beautiful.
Yeah. We're going to talk about your background, your life history, and everything that has happened. I mean, your story is one that is very unique. When I read about it, I did some research.
Wow.
I read about it. I was really intrigued because you and the co-founder, Dr. Sunday, have really come a long way.
Yeah.
And one of these articles on the internet, I read about how you guys met.
Yeah.
Like, can you, walk us through that?
Okay. Thank you very much once again. I'm delighted to be here. Your director, Chief Nonso, is actually a very good friend, and we've come a long way.
Yeah.
To the question you asked, Dr. Sunday Olorunseye has been an awesome business partner to me, because it's very rare in Africa to find great partnerships that have transcended 1 decade. Sometimes most partnerships don't last more than 2 years, 3 years, maximum 5 years. But this is our 11th year, and we have been friends even before we became partners. We've grown from just friends to become brothers, and so we met a long time ago. I think it was where we worked. We worked in the same organization, and I first started working there. And a particular time, he was part of the people that were more like the new people that joined us in the organization. And I was appointed to sit at the panel where we were having interactions. And I kept, my eyes was on him because it was on that table. It was different. It was just outstanding. I could, when iron see iron,
Yes.
and when iron meet iron, that was more like what it was,
Yeah.
and from that point we clicked, and we've been friends ever since, and business partners, family members, and it's been good.
It's interesting how just one meeting, gave rise to many years of brotherhood and friendship.
It happens like that in some cases, because I've met people that I just met them in less than 1 hour. It was as if we have met like maybe 20 years ago. We have shared many things, and you meet some people, you would have known them for 5 years, and yet you have not really gone
True.
far.
That's true.
So that's the kind of
That's
person.
actually the irony of life.
Yeah.
Right. So let me read your profile a bit. When I read your profile, it was it's very impressive. Very impressive. So let's go back to many years ago.
Are you sure the profile is not a prophecy?
Oh, I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Mr. Wisdom Ezekiel is a pastor.
Oh,
yeah.
great. I do the work of God.
Calvary Bible Church.
Yeah.
Can I call you pastor?
No.
You
just call me Wisdom. Or you call me Wise Man, as many people call me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wise man. All right. So let's go back a few years before now.
Okay.
You have an executive MBA from the Metropolitan School of Business in the UK. You also are a chartered fellow of the Chartered Institute of Public Resources Management and Policies. You also have a Harvard Business School Extension Certificate in Entrepreneurship and Emerging Economies. Would you say that all these certificates that you've gotten were like, I don't want to call it stepping stones, but did it help you in the business world that you are in right now?
Do you want to hear the truth?
Yes, please.
Or the truth?
The truth.
Okay, first of all, a little of my background. My highest form of education before I came to Lagos was about JSS 2. I was going to go into JSS 3 when I came to Lagos. And I came to Lagos as that Igbo boy that, for many of us Igbos, we usually want to make money. especially early in our lives. So I saw that a number of my uncles, village people, whenever they come to the village, maybe they have a car, they are opening a house. By the time you find out where they came from, they'll say they came from Lagos. So I decided that, okay, this particular Lagos, I am going to go to Lagos. So an opportunity showed up and I found myself in Lagos. So I think all the education I've ever gotten was after I had actually made some kind of success.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say I'm that Igbo boy who didn't go to school, but used what we call native intelligence to succeed in life to an extent before acquiring any other form of education. So my highest form of education, you would say, is maybe GSS 3. Yeah, I didn't even do the GSS 3. When I came to Lagos, that was when I now eventually started looking for how to climb the ladders, went to technical college. But to be sincere, getting here has been more of personal development than even the four walls of any institution. It has been personal development. The only reason why we get some of this certification is because sometimes in some societies, what is obtainable, really, apart from that, if you focus on developing yourself, you will know what even a professor does not know. There are people who have masters in business and they cannot manage barbing salon, and having a master's degree in business does not give you that right to be able to manage business. It ought to, but that's not the case in our education system. So you have to have your personal drive, your self-development. So for me, if I have the opportunity, I will remove all education from my CV and just because that was not what produced for me.
That wasn't worth it. Yeah. So would you say the 5 years that you spent as an apprentice, you've not mentioned that?
That was my first training. Okay. And that training is one that helped me build my foundation. Now, it was in an electrical parts shop. And in fact, recently, myself and my PA visited the place. And when I was showing him the place, he was like, wow. And he saw a particular man who, confirmed that, where we were living then, as in where our shop, was situated. They didn't have any door. It had door. Didn't have window. The only window that it had, we blocked it with goods. So we're sleeping there. So we usually would sleep with our hands, like this, fanning ourselves with newspaper and all of that. And I did that for 5 years.
5 years?
5 good years. Let me tell you something. Adversity has a way of bringing out some very hidden potential in you if you know how to tap into it. That was a tough time in my life, but my eyes was on the goal. I wanted to succeed. So I spent 5 years there, and what took me out of that place was the fact that I said I wanted to go back to school, because as a young boy, I just kept seeing my mates going to school and I wasn't too comfortable with it. But along that journey, I was actually serving my in-law, my elder sister's husband. But along the line, my elder sister passed on. She died. She was 9 months pregnant when she died.
Oh dear.
Somebody poisoned her. And she was more like our hope in the family. So when she died, that was the 4th year of my service. And I just felt I couldn't go on. And after 1 year, I had to come back. But after 1 year of coming back, it wasn't gelling. As if I saw the future, I left and I wasn't settled. Like the Igbo apprenticeship thing, when you serve for 7 years, 5 years, you are settled. But I wasn't settled. And I left because I wanted to go to school. And I started the government technical college then. From there, I started working, started hustling. And today, I thank God that I was not settled. Because that would have been a limitation on my destiny.
Yeah.
It looked like wickedness then, but now it's a blessing, because it brought out the best in me. It made me to start looking for opportunities here and there. I got in contact with Dr. Olumide Emmanuel, who is my forever mentor. and it was one of the people God used in shaping my life. I found purpose, found vision, and the rest is history. But that 5 years I spent in that shop, opened my mind, in a particular aspect, especially in business, because I was in a shop where I had to cram over names of over 200 goods, if not more than that. Because you're in electrical patch, you have to cram wire, bulb, fittings, different kind of things, switches, plugs. Today now, anything you want to do in terms of electrical, you can bubble me. Yeah, because I know most everything you are talking about. So that was more like a foundation for me.
So in one of your videos I watched, you mentioned that there are like 3 steps, or should I call it, 3 factors to gaining success. You mentioned God, you mentioned people, you also mentioned the right principle. And so far you just mentioned having the right people around you, mentorship, in terms of Mr. Lumide Manuel. So would you say that mentorship is a prerequisite to achieving success or gaining big goals or making your goals come through?
Absolutely, yes. I'm a product of mentorship, and having succeeded to an extent, I have also mentored a number of people, and I can see the difference between the people that we mentored and the people who refused mentorship. Naturally, man would not do what is necessary except there is a push. Everybody in the world, everybody in life needs a push, because we tend to become comfortable. We intend to relax on our, little accomplishment, but you need someone to be able to push you and say, this is the next level. You have to get there. A wise man once said that if I have ever seen any better, it's because I stood on the shoulders of those who have gone ahead of me.
Yeah.
If you want to see better, you need to stand on the shoulders of people who have seen farther than what you have seen. It's more like you are traveling with someone who already know the road. It will save you time. Coming to the studio today, we missed our way. I was supposed to have been here like maybe 45 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
But because we missed our way, we had to pay the price for missing our way. And I was telling my PA in the car that, wow, this is a lesson that if you miss your way in life, it will take you a longer time to get back on track in most cases. So in order not to miss your way, you need to follow who knows the road. Just like you say you are Sabi writer, so we say follow who Sabi road.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
You're naturally a very introspective person.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so you just concluded. Well, I say just concluded. The Wealth Summit 2023 happened, and you said a lot of things in that video. I didn't know you were that funny.
Wow. I don't think I can remember everything I said there.
You held the crowd in its spellbound. But you said a lot of things. You said that it's not enough for you to have 2 eyes. You need to have foresight. I never saw it that way. Not the normal foresight spelling, 4 eyes. Yeah. So tell us, expand more on that for those that want to know more.
I think we, as human beings, we are limited. Our limitation is directly focused on the things that we can handle. So the way you are right now, you are here, you don't know what is happening in Abuja.
Yeah.
You don't know what is happening in London. You don't know what's happening in America. If you want to know, you need people who are positioned in all those places to know what is happening. So when you are looking at life with just 2 eyes, you can only see as far as your eye can see. But when you borrow other people's eyes, you can see farther than what your 2 eyes can see. So in life, one of my major principles is that I will not look with my eyes alone. I will get every other person's eyes that I can get to help me look so that I can see better. It's more like traveling in the night and you don't have light to travel.
Yeah.
So the more the more light you have, that's what determines your speed. So if you want to run faster in life, you must learn to leverage on other people's vision. You must learn to leverage on other people's sights, what other people can see. If all that you have is what you can do for yourself, then you probably will not go too far in life. You need to enter what we call other people resources, whether it's OPM, OPI, whatever it is. Just keep using other people. It can be other people's money, other people's information, other people's vision. You just need people, and to have a second or a fourth eye will mean to engage other people's vision and see through the lens of their eyes and be able to see other things. And the thing is, to succeed in business is all about solving problem.
Yeah.
And you cannot solve a problem you have not identified. And to identify problems, sometimes you need to see it from the eyes of the people who are actually seeing it. The reason why our country is the way it is today is that most of our presidents, they live in Aso Rock. In Aso Rock, I've been to Aso Rock, and in Aso Rock, there's 24 hours power supply. So when you tell an average leader that Nigerians don't have power supply, he's surprised that, no, there's like power supply.
Can't relate.
Because it can't relate,
Yeah.
you know. So in my house, for instance, I've been able to make that possible. I don't see outage because I have all the backup of the backup, you know. So if you don't come down to see from the lens of other people, you probably will not be able to solve their problem. So you need to have multiple eyes for you to see better.
In terms of solving problems, and because everything you've said right now boils down to one word: collaboration, networking.
Yeah.
So in terms of solving problems, would you say that is where you and your partner, co-founder Dr. Sunday, came into play to bring up Pertinence Group?
Yeah, I think from the beginning of Pertinence Group, what we wanted to do was just, as young men, to succeed. We wanted to become successful, wanted to become millionaires. You know, we kept writing different confession, different quotes on how that we wanted to become millionaires. But at a particular time, myself and Dr. Sunday, we had to sit down and ask ourselves, what really is, it held like a management retreat. You know, it was in our office, one small office, you know, just about the size of this studio. That was where we started from, you know. And we're there and we're asking ourselves, what is the main purpose of our being in business? And when we asked that question, in the bid to answer the question, we stumbled on what we are now doing today, which is enterprise development and people empowerment. So we turned from trying to solve our own problem to seeing how we can solve other people's problem. That was the point where our breakthrough began. You know, we told ourselves, rather than trying to become millionaires, let's try and, you know, help 100 people become millionaires. And today, there are over 1,000 of them that we have helped around the world to hit their millionaire status, and we celebrate today. And that has also, the more you take people up, the higher you go. That is the way it works.
You rise by lifting others.
You rise by lifting others. You know, they say that the new competition is collaboration.
Yeah.
If you want to compete favorably, please collaborate as much as possible. You know, that's how you can compete. So for us, identifying the challenges that people face and seeing how we can solve it, seeing others that are in the pit and seeing how we can draw them out of the pit, was what brought us to where we are today. And we're delighted to keep doing it. The vision has never changed.
It hasn't changed.
Will never change. We'll keep ensuring that we empower people.
Yeah. So it's such a great mind shift that you've given to me this morning. Say business, I've just come to know that business is not just about making money, it's just about success. It's about the people first. People first, and then solve problems. Then every other thing is going to add up.
Yeah.
So 11 years now, 11 years since the Pertinence Group has been in existence. How has it been so far? The lessons you have learned, both business and life lessons.
Do you have the time for that?
We could try.
Because I know 11 years cannot be described in few minutes. But I will tell you a few. The first thing is, know who you are and know the God that you represent. Know who you are and know the God that you represent. There's a word in the Bible that said, that they that know their God, they shall be strong and do
Enjoy
exploit.
yeah.
That's our major backbone. And I don't have an apology for anybody when it comes to my God. God has been our bedrock. Identifying with him early in life had given us that, privilege to scale higher than what anybody expected. I remember when we just started making small money, I bought a particular car. So I took the car to church, and when one guy saw me, like, wow. Later he came to tell me that some people were discussing that this guy, what is he doing to make money? And I said, well, I'm doing God. And if you want to make money, come and do God. So God is number one. Number two is you must find a vision. You must find that thing that, keeps you running. For us in Pertinence, we found vision. And I just shared it with you, how that we went from trying to become millionaires to seeing how we can make other people millionaires. So finding that vision was the beginning of our success, finding it. So if you have not found it, keep searching until you find it. Yesterday, I had a meeting with a number of my staffs and the management staffs in the office, and there's something we're working on. While we're talking, I told them, I said, even after all our discussion, that I've not struck that thing. I've not struck it. I listened to Tyler Perry one time. He was explaining how that he called a particular company to dig a well for him in his house. And he said he didn't know that even if they don't find water, you will still pay them. But but eventually, at a particular time, he called them again and said, come and dig. And they dug and they didn't get anything. And he said while he was there, he was just like, no, dig deeper. And like, there's no water here. He said, dig deeper. And they started digging deeper. And while they started digging deeper, all of a sudden they struck water. It was spring water. So in life, it's about digging deeper. The more you can dig, when people are looking, because things that are very valuable, they are not found on the surface.
Word.
They are found in the deep.
Yeah.
Anybody who, that's why they say people who succeed are people who think deep. You see the difference between a gate man and a manager is the fact that a gate man does not want to tax his mind, but a manager taxes his mind every day. You say the gate man works harder than the manager because his place of work is not that conducive. But the manager works harder because he does brain work while the gate man does normal manual work and all of that. So for me, 11 years of running Pertinence, I have learned that vision cannot be overemphasized. If you don't see where you are going, it will be very difficult to identify it when you get there. So vision is very important. Then get it right with people.
Right.
Yeah, because I have had to interact with the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to business. And I can tell you, getting it right with people will either make, if you get it right with people, it will make your business. If you get it wrong with people, it will mar your business. Because at the end of the day, you cannot do it alone. You must have the right team for you to be able to achieve the kind of success you are looking for. So for me, it's been that, that journey of trying to constantly identify the right people. I've had very good people in our business. We've had very bad people in our business that, almost crumbled a particular aspect of the business. But one thing I can say is that if you don't stop trying, you are not a failure. It is when you stop trying that you become a failure. So a man can fall 7 times. If he doesn't stay down, one day he will succeed. He keeps dragging. So there are many lessons. I know you don't have all the time for me to talk about all the lessons, but these 3 I've talked about, I think they are very fundamental.
Thank you so much for that. On your website, you wrote something about, I'm going to paraphrase.
Yeah.
You said something that some people are so focused on becoming, but they don't want to go through the process. And I've seen through your life and just what you've shared, and the little I know is that your life is one of process. You have gone through the process.
Yeah.
You have paid your dues. Unquote. And I have this
And I'm
picture.
still paying it.
You're still paying it.
Yeah.
I have this picture that anytime I look at it, and all I see is grace. I can say that, right? All I see is grace from your first office to how you looked in your first office to who you are.
I was very
right now.
handsome. Very good looking.
Yeah, so it just shows me process.
Yeah.
And I've come to know that was the first office of Pertinence Group.
Maybe if I see the picture, I'll be able to
Yeah,
identify
it's
to
coming
know
up.
that is our first office, because we've had many pictures.
I think it's this one, 2016.
Okay.
Is it the first office?
Unfortunately, this is second office.
Oh.
If you look at me very well, then you would have seen that my stomach has started coming out a little.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's true.
This one wasn't
So this was the
first
second
one.
office.
This is second office. So we had the second office, the third office before we built the fourth office. So
Which is where we are.
Where we are right now is our fourth office.
Wow.
Yeah. So this was the second office. So I sit by this side. Dr. Lawrence sit by the other side. So yeah.
It would have been amazing to have both of you right here in the show.
When he's around, if I'm around, we can come together again, and I'll just be quiet. He will be talking.
Right.
Yeah.
So talking about process, we live in a very fast-paced society right now.
Yeah.
Everybody just wants to make it, but nobody really wants to go through that process.
Yeah.
What would you like to say to the young people out there, aspiring entrepreneurs who are really, putting in their work, but they're not really seeing the result yet? What would you like to say to them?
Okay, maybe I'll just tell a story of a particular young lady that joined us some years ago, and she came to me one day and said, "Mr. Wisdom, I've done everything. This thing is not just working." I said, "Okay, what have you done?" She explained she has done this kind of marketing, that kind of marketing, this. After she finished, I told her, I said, "You know what?" I said, "If you have done all this, I would have advised you to do all the things you told me you have done now. But if you have done all this, I said, keep doing it." I said, when your heaven is full, it has no option but to come down. You see, in life, many people do not know that there's a price to pay for success. And the kind of success you want to have is what determines the kind of price you pay. You can't escape it. It's more like the way we missed our way coming here. All right? It took us farther.
Yeah.
And we had to pay the price. If maybe immediately we missed our way, say, just call Mr. Nonso. I've missed my way. I'm going back home. That's what people do. So I told her, I said, don't give up. Don't give up is not supposed to be a cliche. It's supposed to be a word cast in stone. Don't give up. And I told her, I said, don't worry. Very soon you come and thank me. Fast forward a few months later, she struck her first deal, second deal, third deal. That year, she went with us to Dubai, all expense paid trip to Dubai, as one of the people who met target. The second year she went again. The third year she went. The fourth year she went. It was the fifth year that COVID came.
Dear.
That was someone who said, "I've done it all. It's not working." So it means that what you are doing that you think is not working, actually they are working. If you want to bring down a mountain, it is not the first strike that brings down the mountain.
Yeah.
You keep hitting. You ask yourself, okay, which of the strike brought down the mountain? Is it the last one or the first one? It's all combined. So if you are a business person, you're an entrepreneur, you are doing business and you are not seeing the result, don't worry. The result is hidden. Your effort is going to pay one day. Just stay at it. Adjust your strategy. Look at the things you are not doing right. Just keep adjusting. One day you will hit the rock. Just like Tara Perry said, he said, dig deeper. If you dig deeper, you will strike water, you will strike resources. So the process of that is that, number one, the generation that we are right now, most people do not like to be used. Yeah. Especially most of our young people, unfortunately. And they will tell you they are using you. I usually say that it's in Lagos that Somebody who does not have a job will tell somebody who has a job that his salary is too small. Say, you don't have a job, you are jobless, and you're telling somebody who has a job that his salary is too small. I think if I'm the person that you are talking to, I would say, go and get a job first before coming to tell me my salary is too small. It's also here that you find people telling other people that they're using you, they're just using you. And I came up with this quote that is better to be used and be useful than to be left unused and be useless. It's only useful people that are used. If you look around you, do you use useless people? Can you go out now and see one mad person and say, come and do something for me? For anybody you want to use, you want to be sure that they are useful.
Yeah.
That if you give them that responsibility, they will carry it out. So if they are using you today, it means you are useful. That will pay in the future. The reason why I'm here is because I was available to be used. Somebody used me and I became useful. If you are not used, you can never become useful. So many of our young people today don't want to be used. They will rather, stay on their own than to be used by anybody. So one of the things I would say is get to the point where they will use you. They will use you to the point. Pay more attention to learning than to earning. Many of our young people today, they want to earn before they learn. And it's not that way. The more you earn, the more you learn, the more you can earn. Learning and earning goes together. You have to keep learning and you keep earning. If you want to put earning above learning, then your journey will be very far. So for me, I would say that get to that point where you are available to be resourceful. You are available to be used. And the more you are being used, the more you are useful. It's called experience. They call you and say, okay, what experience do you have? You can't point at anything. I will always say that be careful of people who arrived at success without going through the process. Yeah, they are very dangerous people. Because if you stumble on success, you become an enemy to yourself. You see some people who indulge in many things, you discover that these people, they didn't pay the price to get there. They just stumbled on it. So that's one. Then when you go through difficult times, Robert Schuller said, tough time never lasts, but tough people do. When you go through tough time is meant to toughen your skin. Because it's meant to stabilize you and make you matured. So that when you get to a particular extent of your life, you will not be carried away by success. Sometimes I had to pinch myself and tell myself, Wisdom, you're actually rich. You have money. When I want to enjoy some certain good things about life, and I'm telling myself it's expensive, I had to be convincing myself that Wisdom, the money there now, just spend it, something like that. But how did I get here is by, the kind of things I went through had made me more matured, that I don't get carried away by success. No matter how much you hail me, I'm Wisdom. I don't consider myself to be more than what I am, and that keeps me going. Then the last thing I want to talk about is that, see, there will be ups and downs in your journey. It's not all rosy. Up till now, I still go through difficult challenges. There will be ups and downs. Just make up your mind that whatever price you are required to pay, make up your mind that you will pay it. Because at the end of the day, success is more sweet. Let me give you an instance. If you are flying, the most dangerous time is when you are taking off. When you have taken off and you have beat all the turbulence, the next thing is that you enter into a place of rest where success becomes very easy. Right now, in this, I can come here now and just look around and I get an idea, and tomorrow I implement it and I'm a success. And somebody's wondering, everything it touches just turns to gold. It didn't start like that. There is a track record. We're with some people now in this studio. All right. Tomorrow, if we decide to launch the same idea, most likely people will embrace my own idea faster than theirs. It's not because people don't like them. It's because I have paid my dues. I have track record. You get it? Some people are not patient enough to build track record. I have track record. If you get there and say, okay, between those two people who have been in the business for, imagine I'm in the business of real estate, and I've been here for 11 years. You are just starting real estate you are there just for 1 year. Most people want to deal with me, even if I'm more expensive. Why? Track record. But if you stay there, after some time, you become a master. You have gathered experience. You are able to navigate through life and get to your destination. I think I've deviated from your question, but I think
you're still on course.
So that's just it. We'll just have to pay the price to get to our destination.
So, which leads me to the next question. So, 11 years after, you have 8 office locations and presence of within UK, Canada, and United Arab Emirates. And one who's just listening to you for the first time will just see the success that you have gathered over the years. Nobody really knows the challenges you have had at the back. So kindly walk us through the little challenges you have faced in the business.
Well, I think one of the major one has to do with getting the right funding. We live in a country where you don't have a very well-structured funding for entrepreneurs. So you are a young man starting a business, you have to just bootstrap, just looking for, family and friends kind of funding to help yourself, looking at how you can use other people's money, and other people's money are supposed to be available in the bank. And by the time you go to the bank and share your ideas with them, and in most cases they will say, wow, what a wonderful idea. But do you have your father's head, or your mother's head, your grandfather's head, that we can hold as collateral and all of that, they just keep asking you questions. In other climate, just with your turnover, you are able to command some kind of funding to boost your business. So one of the major challenges or challenge that we have faced in the business has been the issue of funding, especially in real estate. Real estate is value creation. The more value you can create, the higher you can actually go when it comes to real estate. So funding has been a major issue, even still a major issue up until now. But if you are determined to succeed, then nothing can stop you. You will just keep going. So funding is one. I think I mentioned this one really because it's a major one. It's also working with the right people. Being able to identify the right staffs, the right associates, people that you can actually delegate major responsibilities to. That we have had the good ones, we have also had the bad ones. So that has been some of the challenges, and also facing regulatory challenges. Sorry to say, in our country today, most of the regulatory agencies, sometimes you ask yourself that, are they really coming to regulate, or they are coming to relegate? Just relegate all the businesses, because regulation is supposed to be set to say, okay, these are the guidelines. Let's see how we can help you navigate through the guidelines. But in some cases, they just wait until you make a mistake and they clamp on you. I want to recommend that our regulatory bodies should be structured in such a way that they help people achieve the aim, not clamp on them when they make mistakes. So trying to navigate regulatory standards in Nigeria can be difficult because you don't even know all that you are required to do. It's when you now start pushing that you now discover, so you are supposed to do this, you are supposed to do that, and at the end of the day, it becomes very difficult, So those challenges are huge challenge. Today now in Lagos State, I think it's getting better. They are digitalizing, the entire, what do we call it now? Approval process, land title process, and all of that. That is being digitalized, and I think that will help us to get better. But before now, it's a lot of process. You need to know somebody that knows somebody. You need to rub oil fingers, and for some of us who don't know how to do that, it becomes a very difficult terrain to navigate. So challenges, have been constant. Also looking at our economy.
I was going to ask that.
You make $1 million today. Tomorrow, your $1 million is now $200,000. You are just like that. I remember at a particular, I was in South Africa one time, and I had an interview with a particular young man, and he was asking me, he said, wow, that I heard that, I think that was our third or fourth year, no, that was our third year in the business. And he said, I heard that you people made over $1 million. I said, yeah, over $1 million. Now, if I had not pushed the boundaries and, made much more, by now, $1 million is nothing.
It's quite sad.
It's nothing. At that time, dollar was still around maybe 200 and something, 300 and something thereabout. Right now, dollar is almost 1,000.
Almost 1,000.
We're praying that this new government will help us do something. So it's been challenging. Nigeria is very challenging in terms of doing business, but I can tell you it's also very rewarding because there are a lot of system. I don't know whether I should say this, but okay. There are things that you can actually take advantage of in Nigeria, and just push boundaries, that you can't do when you are outside the country. The regulatory system is very
well structured.
But those people, their regulatory system is meant to help you. For us here, we don't have as much, so you can navigate and do some things, except when you are caught. And they now ask you to, align with the regulatory system. So, but it's been good. Even in the midst of it, all of us are still making some huge success.
Would you describe yourself as a people's person?
Very well, people person. Yeah. In fact, I was telling somebody recently that he was asking me that, okay, your family, they reside in Canada, so how are you coping in Nigeria? I say, well, that all along I've always been a people person, that I've never lived alone. Even when I was single, I would always have people living with me, 2, 3. In fact, minimum is 2. Wow. I would just gather people around me. So I'm a people person. I just like to be around people. The people that work with me, they know I can be very strict and I can be very friendly.
Yeah. We'll dwell more on that by the time we come back after the break.
Thank you.
Okay, so right now we're going to go on a short break, and by the time we come back, more conversation follows. Stay with us.
Explore Africa's rich heritage, culture, people, history, food, diversities, dreams, and unlock the spirit of Africa through the finest art of storytelling. A law by savvy writers. An online marketplace for short, authentic African stories. At the tap of a button, you can shop and enjoy your favorite African stories for 1,000 Naira only. Whether you are in Lagos, London, Nairobi, or New York, Law by Savvy Writers brings the true beauty of Africa closer to you. Join our global community of readers today to explore the beauty of Africa through storytelling. Visit allo.savvywriters.com to browse and shop today.
And welcome back. It's still the Build That Story podcast, and our guest is still here with us. We're speaking to Mr. Wisdom Ezekiel, a wonderful entrepreneur, very passionate one, and an award-winning speaker.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for the wisdom you have shared so far in the session. Before we went for a break, I was asking if you're a people's person. I know I was asking that.
Okay.
The economy is quite hard right now. So the question is, how do you motivate your staff?
In fact, all right, there are a number of things we have done over the years. I think during COVID, just showing the kind of people that we are. During COVID, we decided to do some kind of, render some assistance to people. So we have a number of houses that that we own and we collect rent, and we decided to give a rent-free period. I think it was about 3 months rent-free period, to say, while other landlords were busy dragging money from their tenants, we give that kind of allowance and say, for 3 months, don't pay anything. That was part of our contribution. In fact, one of our tenants, wrote us a very long letter and like, wow, this, I've never seen anything like this before. So As a people's person, apart from just our staffs, we have over 10,000 marketing force that we also do a number of things for. In fact, that time we had to start, crediting people's accounts one after the other. It's more like the little that we had saved, over the years, we dipped into it just to help people around that COVID period, and we have done our best in terms of training people. When I did my 40th birthday, I was so glad when I saw the number of people that has come out of our business who have now, become businessmen in their own right, businessmen and women in their own right. Some of them are already doing businesses in billions, and I'm so delighted when I saw some of them. I'm in one or two of their boards, and I know the kind of figure that they do, and I'm very much impressed because we have been able to become very instrumental to their success. Talking about our staffs, we have tried our best to ensure that we give them the best motivation. But one of the things that you find in Pertinence is the fact that our staffs do not just get motivated by money alone. We create a very enabling environment, very joyful environment. In fact, last week Friday, I was still playing football with a number of my staffs. I play football with them. We do exercise together. I'll post that video, on my page so that you can see it. I was playing football with them. That's the kind of environment we have. I have arguments with my staff. We argue. They tell no, I don't agree. I say, I know.
Oh, wow.
I agree. We argue. It can be about business. It can be about life. It can be about anything. And they are not afraid to argue with me. There may be boundaries that has to be drawn, but they are not afraid. They express themselves. So beyond money, they have a very good environment where they can stay. So when you motivate them with money and they compare it with the very good environment that they enjoy with us, sometimes they choose that much better environment. And recently, because of what has happened, we started looking at modifying our work time to create more, less office attendance. That is being, that's in motion right now, and we're trying to implement it. And secondly, we decided that we need to, make our staff smile. And what is happening in the economy right now has really also affected business. It's not as if business is doing better, but we saw that people are really going through a lot, and without anybody's appeal, they just woke up one day and saw some very good alerts inside their account. And as the number of emails and messages I got, like, wow, God, thank you very much for this. So this means a lot to us, and all of that. And we also, from time to time, we look at how we increase salary. But beyond salary, I know people value relationship.
True.
People value places where they are celebrated, where they are not just tolerated, and all of that. So as much as possible, we create that kind of environment. For me, I'm that kind of person that if you are not doing something very well, I can talk to you about it. But after that, we can start playing in the next minute. That's who I am and all of that. So we try our best. We cannot say that we are the best, but we are trying our best.
Still, in terms of providing services and giving value to humanity, to people, there's a foundation that that's an arm of Pertinence Group. How has it been so far with Reach Out Pertinence Foundation?
Wow. In fact, you are asking the question at the right time. We just finished doing a particular CSR to our immediate community.
Oh, nice.
So usually every year when we do our anniversary, we'll do a major CSR. So either we're going to hospital, renovate the entire hospital, look at some of the facilities they don't have and provide those facilities. We have done it to a number of hospitals around us there. In fact, we did to the point where one of the ones we did, the local government chairman had to be present to come and receive all the things that were provided for the hospital. We also visit a number of orphanage homes, and we have done that over the years. But this particular one, we felt that people are suffering.
People are. Really.
How do we ensure that we provide things that can just alleviate their suffering? So we decided to do more like free shopping. So what we did was we set food items, clothing items, clothing, shoes, a lot of things, display them on like a shopping, what do you call this? Open shopping, garage shopping kind of system.
Yeah.
And we printed something that looks like money and gave to them and told them to buy. So just to control, so that people don't just rush in and begin to take
pick
things.
up, yeah.
So it is based on how much we give you that you used to buy. It's
That's
not really
great.
money, but it's just to control the crowd. And maybe if you get on our page today, you will see those things posted, because there were hundreds of people there, and just seeing the smiles on their face and the joy, it's very fulfilling. And we wish you can even do much more. And what we have done, we want to ensure that it's something we continue to do on a regular basis.
That was a really great idea. Did you have like a committee? Did you put up a committee to bring up that kind of?
The foundation is structured. So every year when we do any form of, we have people on scholarship, we have people that we from time to time give a number of welfare to, a number of things that we are doing. I think last year was it last year or 2 years ago? Yeah, last year we sponsored a number of people for a tech training. I think there were over 100 of them that were sponsored for that tech training, and we do skill acquisition, we do business training and all of that, and all these are for free. So Pertinence Reach Out Foundation, we reach out.
You really reach out. You live up to your name.
I also have a personal foundation called We Care, Wisdom Ezekiel Care Foundation, and that one, in fact, is on another level again. We just what we have done is to make it very constant. So on a monthly basis, there's something we are doing to reach out to our community, reach out to people. We target more of young people, we target more of children, women, and all of that, to see how we can empower. We have a number of people on our scholarship also. Before now, I've always had people on my scholarship, but I had to just structure it. When I became 40, I said, I had to structure everything to have it in a foundation. So that's what we are doing.
Wow, that's quite impressive, sir.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Just in case you're not sure about how much process that Mr. Wisdom Ezekiel and his other co-founder, Dr. Sunday, have been through, there's some pictures I'm going to show right now on the screen. Pictures of the structure of Pertinence, the fourth structure of Pertinence while it was here under construction, and how it looks today. So when I saw that, I'm like, okay, this is progress.
I just want to hope you have enough pictures, because I will look at those pictures and be sure that, okay, do you have enough?
I just got a few.
Okay.
So this was when it was under construction. Yeah, and then we have the final look of how Pertinence looks like, which would lead me to what we're going to talk about right now.
Okay.
It's been 8 months since you wrote the book, The Pertinence Way, with your partner, Dr. Sunday. How has it been so far, the reception? I think I have a picture where you both were holding the book, and it was a launch.
Yeah.
How was the reception to what's the book been so far?
Yeah, the first print were almost sold out, and we're looking at doing the second print. The thing is, we jumped on a very difficult terrain. Somebody even advised us that we shouldn't make it look as if partnership is very easy like that.
Yeah.
That partnership is not that easy. That people go through a lot of things in the area of partnership.
Yeah.
So that we are making it look as if it's very easy. I say, well, it can be easy if you have the right structure. There's a lot to talk about partnership. We may not be able to talk about it today. Maybe next time when you guys invite me, we'll be able to talk about partnership. Or maybe when me and Dr. Sunday come, we'll be able to talk about it. But we're almost sold out. So we're looking at doing a reprint, because it's something that the entire Africa needs.
Yes.
There are a number of people who have had to partner because they saw our partnership working. We're an example of a partnership that has, transcended more than a decade. So it's doing well, and we hope that it does better.
Impressive.
Yeah.
Impressive. Congratulations, sir.
That picture is a nice one.
Yeah.
These are the refined guys.
Talking about awards, Pertinence Group was awarded in 2021 by the African by the African Brand Award event as the most admired real estate company of the year, and other awards. How has that made you feel? How do you feel about that?
Sincerely, anytime I receive an award or we receive an award, we tell ourselves it's an encouragement to do more.
Yes.
Because if you now get an award and relax and say, wow, that means we are good, we are now okay, you probably will not, get to your desired destination. So for me, every award is an encouragement to do more. So today, if you guys give me an award in Sabi Writer, you have encouraged me to go and do more. Yeah, for me, that's what it is.
And even for you were given an award in Toronto, in Canada.
Yeah.
Black Month.
Black History Month
Community Award. Yeah. That's great.
Thank you.
Being recognized, apart from being in Nigeria, being recognized in Canada, that's really, really great, sir.
It's also
really great.
An instruction and encouragement to do more. Anytime you are awarded, just go and do more. Yeah. Because if you were not doing as much, you probably would not have been awarded.
True. Very
so
true.
The more award, the more you do.
How do you balance the roles that you play in the capacities that you hold, from a pastor to a businessman to a mentor to a public speaker? All those roles are great responsibilities. So how do you manage them?
Well, I always get this question in many interviews. So I think first of all it's planning, programming, and structure. So for me, so let's say for the business, we do a monthly management meeting, we do quarterly board meetings, and in all our monthly management meeting, it is to interpret all the things we have done in the quarterly board meetings, to say these are the things that the board have decided to do. Managers go and interpret them and all of that. And the good thing again is that we have, ample number of people who have been positioned that are the right kind of people who help us to run. So one of the things I do a lot is to get the right people around me, do proper delegation. So when you properly delegate, you are more like one hand with several hands, helping you to actualize what you're doing. So proper planning, proper programming. Let me talk about the church. So in the church, rather than preparing a message every Sunday, I prepare a message for the month.
Okay.
So I have a topic that I speak throughout the month. So all my message, I can sit down one day and prepare the entire message for the entire month. So I don't have to keep preparing message every Sunday. So when I come on Sunday, it's just continuing where we stopped from last week Sunday. Because we usually have the theme of the month, so we prepare message along that theme of the month, except on rare occasion when God wants us to deviate to other things, and we just have to comply. Also for me, one of the greatest gifts I have is my family. In fact, after God, it's my family. Because if you have the right kind of spouse and you have good children, you have peace. So you are able to do a lot. My wife is a blessing to me.
Yeah.
She doesn't give me trouble. We can fight and we can settle the fight. You know what we call fight now? It's not fight as in physical fight.
I know.
So my wife is a blessing to me. And having the home calm helps me to be able to do a lot of things. So
it also gives you this peaceful aura around you.
Yes.
Because you have peace at home.
Yes.
So it's very
peace at home, peace everywhere.
Peace everywhere.
No peace at home, no peace anywhere. In fact, somebody was saying that, how do I relax? As I relax with family.
Wow.
Yes, I relax with family. That's my best time of relaxing.
You have so many amazing pictures of you both on the internet.
I flaunt my wife. She's very beautiful.
Very beautiful. That's what I really love so much. And it's been 12 years.
Yes.
12 years, a wonderful
going
marriage
to 13 years.
Going to 13 years. Yes, this picture I love so much. This is a picture I love so much.
Yeah.
Coming from someone that just got married, what would be your advice to
just got married?
Yes,
wow, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
So what would be your advice to couples, to new couples, young couples?
Well, before you get married, I would have said marry your good friend, not necessarily your best friend, because there are some best friends that are not marriable. Before I got married, I had one of my friends who was closer to me than my wife, but she was not the right person for me to marry. But at the end of the day, you have to marry your friend, and if you don't marry your friend, make your spouse your friend.
Your friend.
That's one of the things that helps marriages, get sustained. Ensure that you guys are friends. Create that friendly atmosphere where you guys are always discussing. You are soulmates. Before I got married, my wife was not my best friend, but after I got married, she became my best friend. On my way here, she had called me. She's not in Nigeria, but we communicate even much more when we are not together than when we are together, because we have to create the bond. So create that bond. Then I think one of the things that we are losing in this our generation is the fact that we don't understand the structure of marriage. We don't.
Yeah.
So many, either men or women, we need to go back to how marriage was formulated and begin to look at it critically. When it comes to marriage is beyond partnership. Marriage is a covenant. That's why they take you in front of an altar. That's why even when you are doing it in front of the government, you swear. So it's a serious matter.
Yeah.
So marriage is supposed to be a covenant. You are in a covenant relationship with somebody. So you are not in a relationship that you can just easily drop. Tomorrow just drop it, wear something else, drop and down and wear something else. No, it's a covenant. And when you are in a covenant with somebody, it's death that's breaks covenant. For the covenant to be broken, there has to be death involved. We all pray that we don't have the wrong kind of experience. But if we see it from that angle, we'll do everything possible to ensure that our marriages will work. And always find time to be together. Any marriage where the spouse, the people involved, the partners involved don't find time to be together, it will be a very difficult marriage, because there is need for us to be together. Being together does not mean we have to be in the same location. I told you on my way here, my wife called me. As I'm going back now, we'll call her. In the evening we'll talk again. By the time I sleep and wake up, she's the first person I want to call. Just like kind of situation helps that kind of bonding. Then the ultimate is that there must be a third party in your marriage. They usually say don't entertain third party, no third party. No. Any marriage that does not have third party, when you have challenges, who will solve it? So the third party can be God. The third party can be the Holy Spirit. The third party can be a very good marriage counselor who you guys have seen their marriage work, and you want to submit your marriage to them. Just like you have mentors in business, mentors in career, you ought to have mentors in marriage too. People that you are looking forward to say, this marriage is working, our own must work. Because never marry. So you are married already. So I would say to people who are listening to me, never marry somebody who don't have accountability partners. Who say, I'm alone. It's you and I alone. That's very dangerous. Because anytime there's an issue, there's nobody he respects. There's nobody she respects. Who will you even threaten him that I will report you to?
Right.
For me, our marriage has been sweet. We have never had any issue that anybody settled for us in my marriage. It's been over 12 years.
Yes.
But that's because we became very matured about things, and God has been helping us. So when I say have a third party in your marriage, God being one of the major third parties that you deal with in your marriage. If God is not in the center of the marriage, it will take a whole lot for marriage to work. God is the bedrock of every successful marriage.
Thank you so much for that.
God bless you.
You have really laid your life out for us to learn from.
Yeah.
You have given to us insight.
Yeah.
Your life wasn't all that rosy when you started, but so far we have seen process, we have seen grace, we have seen hard work, we have seen diligence in your life. And I want to thank you so much for, showing us that part of you. Thank you so much for sharing your stories to us.
Thank you very
Before
much.
we wind this, we'll bring this whole session to a close. one particular question I'd like to ask. Like I said before, you mentioned in one of your YouTube shorts that there are many ways. The way to success is God. You have touched on that. Find the right people. You've also talked about principle. So the question is, what is the leadership principle that held you on, that you've held on for these matter of years? What is that principle that you've held on?
There are several principles. One of the major ones is the principle of discovery. You cannot grow what you have not discovered. So for every point in my life, I'm constantly discovering new things or discovering myself. You must be a researcher who is constantly looking for what next. One principle again that is major for me is the principle of consistency. Let me be sincere with you. 10 people are running the race. 10 people will not win the race. What will determine who wins the race is not who started first. It's who stayed consistently. Because life is not a one-off journey. Life is a constant journey. It's a marathon.
Yeah.
You keep running. Consistency is what helps you wear out failure. So failure is trying to catch up with you, but if you are consistent, after some time, failure will get tired of you and will allow you to go. He that knocks on the door and keep knocking, the door will open. He that asks and keep asking, he shall receive. He that seek and keep seeking will find. Those are principles that keep me going. Consistency. I usually will ask a question. You just got married. You have 2 babies, twins. Amen. And two of them are hungry. One is saying and the other one is saying yeah. And you have to feed one.
Yeah.
Which one will you feed?
I think the louder one.
The louder one, because that one is calling for attention. So in life, there has to be this level of intentionality. Life is not, you don't live life by chance. You have to be very intentional about the things you do, about the things you push into life, about the processes that you have to be very intentional. I remember at our early years in business. In fact, there was one time one of my friends called me and said, Mr. Wisdom, you are littering my wall. Those days when you post and tag somebody, it stays in their wall as if they were the one that posted it.
Yes.
Because we're very loud. You see, someone who is in the dark should not be winking. You should be shouting. Because if they can't see you, they should hear your voice.
They should hear your voice.
That is the way life is. I've mentioned a lot of principles.
You have. One has stuck out for me: consistency. I think we have been having this discussion about consistency for some weeks now in the office. So it's really stood out for me.
Yeah.
Just to summarize everything you have said, a closed mouth is a closed destiny.
Yes.
Yeah.
If they don't see you, shout until they see you. Yeah.
Last words?
When they not see you, you can now decide to keep quiet. It's a little.
After getting what you want.
Yeah.
Any last words for our viewers out there?
Well,
for me as well.
Well, I just want to say, stay focused.
Yeah.
If you need to give up evil things, give up things that are not consistent with your journey, but never give up your vision. Never give up what God has assigned you to, and just keep moving.
Yeah.
Whatever happens along your journey, count it as part of the journey. I usually would say that failure is part of success. It is only fools that don't want to fail. Successful people will always fail. I have had many businesses fail than the ones that have succeeded. So if you ask me, I run a number of businesses, but if I tell you the number of businesses I ran before I came here, you will know that, so failure is part of success. Never give up, keep pushing. One day you arrive at your destination, things will become easy. Now I can start a business and in 1 year it's making some billions, and somebody will say, wow, the guy is just lucky. If hard work is luck, then I'm lucky. If consistency is luck, then I'm lucky. If pushing through the boundaries and never giving up is luck, then welcome to luck.
Welcome to luck. Thank you so much, sir. I would like to ask one more question, but I don't know how my producer is thinking about it. But just this random question.
Okay.
You have a raw passion for sharing wealth principles. I've seen a couple of your YouTube videos. You always impact knowledge about wealth creation.
Yeah.
Is that a thing, like a ministry for you, or how is it for you?
So when you are in enterprise development and people empowerment, what is the most important empowerment that a man needs? After God is money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. After God is money. So it's not just a passion, it's an experience.
Yeah.
I've gone through the path and I want to see how I can teach people how to navigate that path. So for me, it's not just a passion, it's an experience. It's something I'm committed to doing. I can't talk for 10 minutes and not talk about, you being financially empowered, because I know that your prayer point will reduce when you make some money. Some of the prayers we pray, some of them are prayer of just because there's no money. When you have money, your prayer point will reduce, your praise point will increase.
Yeah.
So you praise more than you pray.
There's something that you said in the World Summit 3.0. This is going to be the last one right now.
the last one.
Something that you said in the World 3.0 Summit, and you said there's a kind of income you have that it's a bread and it's a seed. And what she said resonated with what my father-in-law told me when I went to go meet him for the first time, and he was counseling I am my spouse. And he said, don't eat your future.
Mm-hmm.
We realized that lots of people eat their futures with the little income they have.
Yeah.
So what would your advice be, your financial advice be to people out there who are earning bits?
Okay, you see, there are two ways to become wealthy.
Mm-hmm.
Or there are two ways to have money. One is either you increase your earning or you reduce your expenditure. But I would say in every dimension, do the two.
Yeah.
Increase your earning and delay gratification. I will always recommend that you spend the grandchildren of your money, not even the first child of your money, not the second generation of your money, the third generation of your money. So if you make money now, you have 100,000 naira, multiply the 100,000 to 200,000, multiply the 200,000 to 300, then you can now spend from the next one.
Mm-hmm.
That's how wealthy people do. So when you experience any increase, delay gratification. Don't immediately change your way of life.
Yeah.
Because once you change your way of life and tell yourself you have more money, that money will never be enough. For the money to be enough, you have to live below your taste. Because all of us have high taste. It's when you have money, you now know that you have high taste.
True.
That's when you now know that you cannot wear a wristwatch that is not designers. You cannot wear clothes that are not designers.
Yeah.
For me, today, if you see me wear clothes, once I wear it, it's designer.
Word. Bars.
Once I wear
Bars
it becomes designer.
Yeah.
Whether it's designer or not, it's none of your business. Once I wear it, it becomes designer. So delayed gratification.
Mm-hmm.
Delayed gratification. There's one thing that most of our young people today don't want to hear, is that they should delay gratification. If you delay gratification, you have more disposable funds to be able to champion greater businesses that can give you more money. Have a culture of savings, a culture of investment. Do it. Save before you spend. Invest before you spend. You don't spend what you have and save what is left. or invest what is left. You invest and save what you have, then spend what is left. So what is left is what you now spend. So when I said that there is the bread of every money and there is the seed of every money. So if you earn a salary now, let's say you earn a salary of 200,000 naira, that salary, inside the salary, there's bread and there is seed. A wise person will separate the seed first. So the seed can be your tithe, your offering, your savings, your investment, as the case may be. I use the 10% principle. So 10% tithe, 10% savings, 10% investment. If that's what you want to do, then the remaining 30%, the remaining 70%, you can now begin to look at what do I do with that.
Yeah.
So once you earn money, 30% is not yours. 70% is what is yours. If you live on that kind of principle, in the next 5 years, you become a different person. What will now happen is that you start increasing the percentage. I got to a point where 10% of my income could take care of my expenses. Yeah. And I live with it for a number of years. And I still do. My savings is automatic. My investment is automatic. It's not something that they need to remind me to do. As I'm speaking to you now, my phone is set on a particular application. Once every Monday, every Tuesday, it debits my account. It's automatic.
Thank you.
God bless you.
Thank you. I could listen to you all day.
Yeah. And I could speak to you all day. But you know how to ask the right question and expect answers.
Thank you. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you
You
very
are
much.
leaving your name. You are indeed a bag of wisdom, sir. Thank you so
very
much. And we have come to the end of today's episode. It's been quite a wonderful time with Mr. Wisdom Ezekiel, the co-founder of Pertinence Group, a multi-million-dollar real estate company in Nigeria and Africa. Thank you so much for your time with us. Thank you so much for sharing your life experiences with us. And I hope that you have learned so much as I have. Until we'll see you again, stay with us. And do not forget to engage and follow us on all our social media platforms. Thank you so much.